Land Development Code. Take a look. Staff over the past few years has been developing a list of changes that we want to see as well. So we'll certainly reach out to the commissioners, as well as our individuals such as Ms. Harding that was here earlier this morning that had some information. We're going to work with the chamber as well as the Home Builders Association, other county departments, engineering, and our BI staff, and come back with a list of changes that we would like to see. Certainly, if there needs to be a compromise in that aspect, we'll certainly sit at the table and come up with a compromise in between. If there's something that's particularly a sticky situation, at that point we'll take a look at other counties, municipalities, see what they have, and come back with proposed changes. At that point, it will then proceed to the zoning board for discussion. And then we can also, at that point, bring it back to you as well. And so we certainly think that this is something that's been in the works for a long time. We look forward to working on it and making these changes.
Sean, do you foresee perhaps having to have a separate meeting or a public forum type meeting that stands alone from a regular commission meeting for back and forth discussion of this? These changes, instituting the changes and stuff?
Yes, sir. I do foresee that. I know that the Santa Rosa Chamber of Commerce has already met with a group of developers, contractors, engineers, business entities as well. They started this about a month or so ago. So they are working together. They have come together as a collaborative group. So that will scratch off a few of these. But when it comes to the general public, I'll work with our computer department and PIO to set up either a website, set up some additional charrettes that we can have individuals come and work out some of these issues that may arise.
Great, good idea. All right. Any questions from members of the board? Input from members of the board?
Sean, I appreciate it. I know we've had several discussions on this, and thank you. And I appreciate you having the timeline out, which shows that I know we don't want to be too hasty in making decisions that, or have a generational impact, and at least we can get it all done this calendar year. Basically almost this before the conclusion of this fiscal year is what it looks like. My only question I thought of, and especially after the lady, I believe it was Ms. Hardigan, had come and taught this morning, I know the board seemed unanimous on there was a couple things that obviously we want to look at, but one of them being the tree ordinance, or not so much tree ordinance, but how it's addressed in there. It's since we know the board feels strongly on that, and I mean, in 1 year, a lot of things can change landscape-wise. Is that something that we could extract from this, expedite, but yet they could still review, and we could go back and address it at the end of the year, but in lieu of not having to tell folks, hey, it's going to be the end of the year before we address something that we've already said we know we want to look at?
Yes, sir. That's something that the county administrator and I have discussed, as well as I've already explained that to the Santa Rosa Chamber of Commerce as well, so their group can go ahead and start taking a look. We know one thing for very specific is the tree protection ordinance and trying to move that forward as quickly as possible. What we're trying to avoid is over the past year, there's been a lot of hey, we need to change this, we need to change that, with citizens coming to staff recommending these changes. So what we're going to try to do is capture all that at one time.
Well, I appreciate that, and thank you so much. I know the Home Builders Association, as well as the chambers and some of these engineer groups are definitely excited to be able to have input, and thank you for that. I don't have any further comment.